Welcome back to Entertainment Banter. My name is the famous, infamous Joel. And
I'm Matt.
yep, that's all you are.
That's all I am.
Do you have a chaser for your Pepsi? Is that what I see? You have Pepsi and then you have a chaser?
Yes. Really? This is how we're going to...
I'm sorry. It distracted me because you moved it, and I'm like, what are you doing?
I'm getting ready. Every time I talk to you, I have to be ready. You know what I'm saying? To talk to you.
Right. So today's topic.
Today's topic.
We're gonna.
What is today's topic? I'm excited.
We recently, on this quarantine, Netflix released the trilogy of Back to the Future on Netflix, right?
Yes.
Right.
Very good trilogy. Yes.
It's a very good trilogy, and it's fun to watch. If you watch them all in a row, you feel like you're watching the same movie 3 times.
Yes.
But they did some things to. Was it the first one?
Second one.
It was the second. It was
as far as I know, it was the second one. I don't know if they've done other things, but the second one.
Our topic tonight is going to be about pretty much unnecessary censorship, but not as a joke. Like censorship that is being done on shows to make the shows cheaper, and then the streaming services are picking those up for their streaming
I don't think
services.
people are following you. You got to start at the beginning. Because I understand what you're saying, but I don't think they're going to register.
Basic words.
Yet, so.
Streaming services are getting cheap on us.
Well, let's back it up a hair and say that everybody wants their own streaming service, meaning like every studio wants their own streaming service.
Of course.
So what's happening is everybody is taking originally whatever content they had they didn't care about. All of a sudden, it's like this prized gem because now whatever media that they've ever had and owned in their entire lives that they didn't care about, now they do, because the more content they have for their own individual services, the more content, the better service they have, right? That's the idea behind it.
Or the better, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So what's happening is Netflix, for example, I picked them. Hulu was around for a while too, but Netflix was really the first one that
they dominated right off the bat.
They dominated the streaming world. They were the answer to cable, blah blah blah, and satellite. And so the thing is, Netflix was smart, and they just kind of saved and pinched their pennies, and it got to a point where they were still using a lot of other people's content, but like anything and everything, they got to a place where they can afford to make their own content, and therefore it became this explosion of amazing stuff. And then everybody saw what was happening with Netflix and decided they wanted to do the same thing. They wanted to get on board with their own programs, and they wanted to create their own original content, and blah, 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 blah. Which now creates a vacuum because people are starting to pull their content away from places like Netflix. You know, right. Netflix was the first one that wasn't really a studio. Like, it wasn't Universal Studios. It wasn't Disney.
Right.
It wasn't...
They're literally just a company where you paid a subscription service to, and you would get DVDs in the mail, or you get some content.
Blockbuster Video that you could get online.
Right.
And,
or through the mail.
And so jumping ahead to what we were going to talk about, you were talking about the editing stuff, and we can get into the different kinds of editing from a wide range of things. But long story short, is back in the day, I know millennials probably won't even know or understand, but whatever. But there's things like Blockbuster Video and other rental stores.
Hollywood
when you go
Video.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. You would go into those rental stores. If you picked up a copy of Back to the Future 2 on VHS or DVD, because that's all they really had at the time, there was no Blu-ray that I'm aware of.
Did you go back into the room behind the beads?
No, not yet. That's another time.
You weren't old enough. Okay, sorry.
I actually went back there when I wasn't old enough.
Hell yeah, you did.
And then I was told to get out. But as an adult, no, I was like, no. Thank God the internet had progressed in such a way I would never have to embarrass myself coming in and out of that area. So anyways, plus you don't know. You walk in there, you could see all kinds of ugly, sketchy dudes in there.
Yeah.
But getting back to what I was saying is, if you picked up that VHS copy or DVD of Back to the Future 2 and you rented it, you take it home, you watch it, and that's it. And nothing whatsoever was altered with that movie.
It was altered to fit your TV screen, though.
that's
from the
oh
original
my
format.
gosh, you're getting nitpicky. Not if you found the widescreen versions.
I'm just telling.
But actually, I'll tell you this: even the widescreen versions of some films, actually, they claimed, I'm using air quotations here, that they were widescreen, but they actually were not.
Well, because
they
like
actually
if you
still
look at
screwed it.
if you look at Ghostbusters, they cropped out Winston.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah.
A lot of. Oh, jeez. Are you trying to imply something here?
No, I'm just saying. Like,
okay.
Sometimes they modified. They've modified.
Yeah.
Shows for TV or VHS content for purposes of
for TV. But what I'm saying is, if you go into a Blockbuster,
What are you saying?
They may have cropped it, but they didn't alter or edit the film. Is what I'm saying.
Right.
And it's like due to time restraints, for example, or if it was aired on television, let's say.
For on television, they would cut scenes out for time.
Right, but in a VHS, they never did that, or DVD, they never did that when
Right.
you rented them. And I'm assuming in Redbox, they don't do that. That's the most modern way of renting movies physically still,
Right.
that I'm aware of. There's only one Blockbuster store in America, as far as I know.
It's Alaska, right?
Oh, is it? I don't know where its location's at. I just know there's just one.
I think it's Alaska.
That's hilarious. But anyways, so getting back to Netflix, what's going on with Netflix, Joel? What happened to Back to the Future Netflix? Back to the Future 2.
Back to the Future 2 was censored or edited.
Not for time.
Not for time, but because there isn't no true explanation yet. There's a lot of rumors online of saying why it was, but it was cut. The scene that was cut, we thought it was going to be some kind of SJW thing. They're going to cut something or add something in, but it really was just. It was a porn, not the porn scene, but what's his name?
Biff.
What's his name? Biff had the almanac. If you know the story, he has the almanac of the future, and it tells him about what the games, and he becomes Trump of the modern day, and he has the almanac, but then he has inside it's a porno in the cover. It has the almanac cover, dust cover, then it has a porno on the inside. And Marty opens it up, and he sees that it says "ooh la la," and he says it twice. And it's an extended scene, and you get to see the cover, and really it's just a girl kind of cross-legged on the cover.
Yeah, there's no actual full nudity.
It's
involved,
just her legs.
You know what I mean?
And ooh la la.
I mean, the woman may have been naked, but she's not showing anything.
Well, she has
I can't even remember. It's been so long.
I just watched it. She has like a nightie on, so you can't see anything. Her legs and arms are covering everything. You just see her.
It's suggestive.
It's suggestive, but at the same time, Ooh La La is not like a known porn magazine like Playboy or Hustler.
Well, it's a period piece.
Right, of course. So when that happened, and he rips it apart and he throws the magazine away, but that scene was cut, and it wasn't cut due to like nicely. It was just cut, and it was just badly edited together when he did it, and it was just really. And apparently now Netflix corrected that and put the original back on because a lot of people complained. But the theory behind it is, one, they cut it. They didn't cut. Netflix didn't do it on purpose. They apparently paid.
Well,
less.
did Netflix do it at all?
That's the thing.
They didn't do any of the editing.
No,
really?
They didn't do the editing. Apparently, this is a version that was played on TV, and it was a cheaper version to put. They got the rights to that version to put on the streaming service.
All right.
So either someone got mixed up and they just got any service, or Netflix was getting cheap on us and giving us the cheaper version of the movie.
No, see, so I think I think it's a couple of things. So my take on it is, like, it goes back to the whole, why would you give your competitors your A material, right? You can make a profit off your competitors as well as not give them the A material.
So you think that was Universal that gave it to them like that?
I think so. I think, well, if you actually, now that you mention Universal, they have been playing some serious douchey hardball lately. So you think
it comes down to Universal being...
Universal's taking it to the next level right now. I think they're really trying to stick it to all the companies. Because remember, it's Universal that was trying to fuck AMC over.
Right.
And so Universal is no longer going to have their films in AMC theaters. And Universal...
Used to be entertainment capital of the world, and had to change that because they are not.
Right. So my theory is this. If Universal is going to start its own thing, I don't think it has yet, but... you're not going to give your A material. You're not going to give the clean cut of Back to the Future 2, the original, the way it was intended, to your competitors. But what you might do to your competitors is, hey, we'll throw you a bone, Netflix. If you want Back to the Future, you can pay a certain amount, and you can get this abridged version that we edited in the '90s to put on TV for TBS or something, and you can have that. And Netflix is like, well, it's better than nothing, and it looks like we look cool because we've got Back to the Future, which is a very popular trilogy.
But apparently they fixed it. So what happened there?
Well, then Netflix goes to Universal and says, okay, we'll buy the full price version. We'll get the full version.
I see.
Our fans are getting upset. So, I mean, I don't know. This is all speculation, but that's the way I look at it. And I feel like it's just going to be a very, very annoying trend that's just going to become the norm. So, avid listeners, people that, Mom,
Nick,
the other guy, and some lady friends, if you have streaming services, just know that you might be getting the B-list versions of films from here on out, the edited, changed,
we don't know,
whatever. And it's very that's what I'm saying. It's like false advertising, because if you pay for Netflix and you want Back to the Future 2 and it shows up, like, what if there's people that go online and say, hey, what's coming to Netflix next month? And if you see Back to the Future as one of those movies, and you're thinking, oh, I was just gonna cut the Netflix cable, so to speak, but I'll hold on one more month to see Back to the Future, and then you get it, and it's like not what you wanted. It's false advertising. It's not the original movie. And
I don't think it's false advertising. It's just cheapening the experience.
They should.
They should. So
they should start putting banners up. They should legally put banners up saying Back to the Future 2, edited version or some crap. So that way you're getting sloppy jalopy.
Yeah, because we were talking about this the other day, I think, about Star Wars. Like there's so many edited versions of stupid Star Wars. And, that's the official title,
George Lucas and Universal actually, with Steven Spielberg films, they started this forever ago with the whole
E.T. and all that.
E.T. exactly.
But it would be amazing, like when you like now you just go on there and it's the one movie on there, right? You have like episodes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 now of Star Wars, right?
Yes. And, instead of all the alternated versions.
Right. What they should do is when you select it, and if there are alternate versions, it should tell you like, here's the VHS release from 19. Blah blah. Here's the beta release, and just give you a list of them. Like if there's like 6 of them, it should be listed underneath there. So if you wanted to pick your experience, and they can explain what's in it, like, oh, this one's more kid friendly. This was this. They'd probably get more subscriptions that way, because then like you can go to ET and go, oh, there's 2 options. There's the walkie-talkie version, or there's the gun version. If you don't want your kids seeing that, you can watch those versions.
That's just ridiculous, though. I mean, no, that opens that to me. I understand what you're saying.
That's more, but less, because that puts power back into your hands a little bit more, I think. Because if you don't, they're choosing what you get to watch then, depending on what edition it is, and you're paying for these subscriptions that you're trying to like. Oh, I don't want all these DVDs in my house. Netflix has it on their network. Disney Plus has all these movies. I don't want all these movies in my house anymore. It takes up clutter. Disney Plus is my digital way of watching it. But then they cut shit from it. Then you're like, oh, I don't.
No smart human being is going to get rid of their hard media at this point in time.
Bullshit,
I can tell you that right now.
Oh, absolutely. Everyone's already.
I said smart.
That means
people.
The whole world's not smart, man. Everyone's getting rid of that shit.
Wait till
you're the only one. You're the only one.
You just wait. Maybe I'll open up my own streaming service afterwards. Because I'll have all this hard stuff. Hard copied stuff that's unaltered, unabridged, blah, blah, blah. No, I think it's I understand what you're saying to some extent. Yes, it'd be like Star Wars. I get it. But I'm just, everyone knows I'm a Star Wars nerd. So, like, I have every version. I literally have every version of that film. There's, like, no joke. There's probably, like, 5 or 6. I can't keep track. 5 or 6 now because of Disney Plus. Maybe, like, 7 versions of some of those films.
My gosh.
It's ridiculous.
That is
There's
ridiculous.
Subtle changes.
People got paid a lot to change things around in that movie.
Well, the thing is, too, you got to remember, like, when they edit or they release a new box set, they try to make it a reason to buy again, and that's why they do subtle changes. Like Ewoks blinking, for crying out loud, is one of the things they did. They changed. So
really?
Before they didn't. Yeah. Like in the last Blu-ray release, that's what they did. So, anyways, with your idea, I think it's a bad one because
fuck you.
It gives
I don't argue well. Go on.
Okay. Well, I'm just telling you, like, I think it's a bad idea because, like, let's just take a movie that hasn't been altered. Like, I mean, I don't even know if it's true or not anymore, but like Jurassic Park, right?
Sure.
And they say, here's Jurassic Park, but now we're giving permission to alter movies. And you can have 9 versions, according to you, of Jurassic Park where the dinosaurs might actually talk to children like, "Oh, I'm really hungry.
Oh my god!
Do you have any food, Grant?"
No
you know what I mean? They edit the
for
dialogue
time.
and change. I'm just telling you, when you open up Pandora's box like that, and you want 9 different versions, a kid-friendly version of Jurassic Park.
No, I'm not
or whatever,
saying to
people
make
will
those
go back
versions. I'm
No,
not
no,
saying
no,
to
but-
make those versions, but they're already made.
But Disney has already done that. That's what I'm saying. On Disney Plus, they edited Darby O'Gill. They had this very authentic guy that spoke in that accent perfectly. Darby spoke in that accent. They went back and redubbed his entire dialogue with some other actor. So just so that they lost the authentication of the actual original performance, which truly, like there were times, if you're not paying attention, you really wouldn't understand him. So they went ahead and then just redubbed him with some other guy so he spoke clearer. But it loses that character, that feel of that individual. Does that make sense? Like there's like Jar Jar Binks, Misa Jar Jar Binks. Can you imagine if they went back and edited it? And I mean, no one would give a shit. But like if you go back and Jar Jar Binks all of a sudden is like, "Hello, I am Jar Jar Binks." It's like it's not the same. You know what I mean? It's not the same. And so they did it with Darby O'Gill. Disney Plus already did that. They're editing out Lilo and Stitch, so like Lilo doesn't hide in a dryer anymore. She hides under a table with a pizza box because they don't want kids walking into dryers. But here's the thing: like Disney's doing it across the board. Yeah, it's real. That's what happened.
I didn't know that.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. They're already starting to do it, and people aren't picking up. You know how I was joking, like why Aladdin the animated series hasn't come on Disney Plus yet?
Because they're probably editing it right now?
My theory is they're editing it because Jasmine's waistline is offensive to certain nationalities, and they already did it to Padme in the Clone Wars.
What?
That TV show that only came out a few years ago. So
what do you mean? Like her waistline was too?
Yeah, because if you remember if you worked at the parks, that was a complaint that happened with their costumes. Like it wasn't something that was appropriate. So they started to change and mend the way she looks. So I wouldn't be surprised if they're going back and making sure nothing in that show is offensive to all cultures.
The Karens of the world are ruining us.
So anyways, yeah, so my thing is we're now at this place in life that everything is already a harassment. You know what I mean? Like to go grocery shopping is now a harassment. To go to work is harassment. Like because of this quote unquote pandemic, whether how long it sustains, who knows? But like the reality is all you have is your castle. Most people just go back and retreat to their castles at the end of the day. And if you can't leave your castle, which is already kind of fucked up, but at least you should be able to just stream something. But now that is being dictated and that is being changed.
Well, that's
and
why I'm
being
saying,
altered.
like, if you get the option, at least when they alter it, like, if the shitty thing is they should.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It should
be,
just have a banner. You know how like they say new episodes. Like it says, "Oh, this show has new episodes."
Right.
It should say, "Oh, this movie got fucked up. Do you still want to watch it?" You know what I mean? Like, or original or something like special edition or Netflix version or, superly sensitive version. I don't know. Like it's just my thing though is if you're a paying customer, it goes back to that Blockbuster analogy. If you go into Blockbuster and get the Back to the Future 2 tape and they cut it or edit it weird, it's like I want my money back. That's not what if I've seen this movie and I'm looking forward to certain parts, it better be in that film.
Yeah. No,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I agree with that. Because you're like you're expecting the movie like if you're watching E.T. and all of a sudden, or no, let's just go. Let's do extreme. Let's say like South Park did the example. What if you're watching Saving Private Ryan? Like all the machine guns are changed to fucking walkie-talkies. It doesn't fucking make any sense anymore.
Right. Well, and again,
you're like, this is not what I paid for. I paid for a war movie, not all these guys on at
and it's so
D-Day.
It's so dangerous
on the phone.
It's so dangerous to alter these things too because it speaks volumes about a film, the history of the film. It's one thing when you look at the content of the film itself and the era it takes place and blah, blah, blah in the story. But it's another thing to think into context too is when that film was made. So, for example, if you're making, I don't know, like a Civil War movie, right? Let's just say. Nobody really made Civil War movies in the Civil War time period, right? No one. Steven Spielberg didn't live during the Civil War. You know what I mean?
No.
So,
did he?
But what happens? But what happens is maybe in the 70s and 80s, there's an interpretation of the Civil War based on the 80s current culture. This is how
True.
the 80s culture interprets
Interpreted
the
it.
Civil War.
Mm-hmm.
Right. But then, let's say in the 2010 era, someone else makes a Civil War movie, and it's their interpretation of the Civil War. Now, it's wrong, in my opinion, that 2010 audience says the 80s version is too offensive or different, that we need to change it. You know what I mean?
It's a change in eyes
there
of how
might
we
be.
see.
Well, but my point is, like, by doing that, you're altering a perception, and
It changes history.
in my opinion, that's like censorship to the point where you're not going to learn. That's like saying, like everyone hates the Confederate flag, right? There was that discussion forever ago. We even potted about it with like the Dukes of Hazzard and whatnot.
Right.
The Confederate flag itself represents being a rebel. Yes, it has been used by organizations that are very offensive,
Right.
but that is not the symbols situation. It was a symbol of being a rebel. That's what it was. It wasn't, in the South aspect, but people got offended. And so what do? We rip it all away. People want to fight to get it out of the system. We want to remove the Southern
It's hard to go
generals.
that route.
But it's history.
Because
it's history.
the Nazi flag is the same thing, and you can't just...
Right.
It
Right, but my
represented a lot of
point
things in
is,
Germany
it
back
doesn't
then,
matter
too.
what the symbol is. If it's a gay
A
pride
lot of
parade,
bad things happened
remove
underneath that flag.
remove the the what is it, the pink triangle or the rainbow. Like, by doing that, you're censoring history. You can't do that. You know what I'm saying?
No one's disagreeing. No one's disagreeing what's behind that flag. The problem is you can't represent that flag as that's how you want to live your life now.
Right, but let's just for the sake of argument, let's just say conservatives and Republicans rule the world in 2040, all right, 2040.
Okay.
And they say, you know what, I'm now in charge of all the streaming services too. So why don't we go back and let's just remove the pink triangle and the rainbows from all the movies because we find it offensive now. Because conservative Republicans rule out in 2040.
That side of the
you know what I
argument,
mean?
absolutely.
It's wrong. It is wrong. So they're doing it
how
now,
you-
and
that's
it's baby steps though.
It's how
because
you
that's a joke.
It's how you interpret it. You can watch almost a lot of TV shows now and go, "There's no way that can be made now." Oh, good thing we're not going back and censoring those.
Right, but my point is, not yet. But my point is, like, with Back to the Future 2, is like that scene particularly, that's actually a massive plot point.
It really is.
Because Marty is trying to get the almanac, and he thinks he's got it, and he realizes he doesn't have it. And then on top of that, Biff, it's actually a joke, because Biff is looking at the almanac when Skinner comes by, his principal. But you think he's reading sports, getting ready to bet. But really what he's doing, he's looking at porn.
Right.
And so that's a joke. But you take all that stuff away, and then you lose... That's what I'm saying. It's like a Darby O'Gill actor. You lose that authentication.
It's gross.
But I'm sure a lot of people do at some point. If they have a classroom now to go to, I don't know.
Yeah,
I
I guess people do it now because they can be like zooming in one monitor and watching porn in the other, going, yeah.
Porn's hacking Zoom. That's the other thing. So I guess what are we going to take from this? Basically, now you have to, like, we have enough fucking harassment to deal with. Like, now we got to make sure our streaming services that we pay for are giving us the content that we're paying for instead of giving us this half-assed abridged versions.
All you really can do right now is we decide if the streaming service survives. You know what I mean? Like, as a general public.
It's going to have to. They kind of have us by the balls right now.
It's just how it is, and it's just like any kind of a retail market or anything like that. It's driven by the middle class pretty much. So the best way to help people make decisions if they want to keep, say, like Netflix keeps doing this, informing the public that has it. You got to inform them somehow. Even get a law passed. This would be kind of interesting. You get a law passed that you have to declare what version of the movie that is as you're streaming it, so then people can make educated decisions like, well, all Netflix does is get the shittier versions of the planes, but Hulu gets the good version, so I'm going to cancel Netflix and keep Hulu. And then that when Netflix, and then becomes that market, freedom of market, and they would fight for it.
So what about this? So, like, what about Lilo and Stitch? Should they say something like, this movie was edited? It's not from the original version, and not that bullshit stuff like cropped to fit your television. I'm talking like
it was edited,
like historically changed. Like that. We don't want kids crawling into dryers. So
you're probably onto something, Matt. You honestly probably could make up some legislation to make that happen for streaming services. That would be a huge impact. I'm sure a lot of people complain about it. Keep them honest. It's the same thing of how you see the fucking calories on your fucking McDonald's foods or your fast foods, or anything. You have to see the calories in everything you order. So it's almost the same thing because
because
you're paying
it's like
for
false advertising, in my opinion. You know what I mean?
You can honestly
and if a
probably
streaming service,
you could probably, if you wanted to, I'd back it with you, Matt, because you would actually start something new where the streaming services would have to be honest with you of what you're ready to watch. Not saying they have to change. They don't have to change their ways. They just have to show you that you're watching an edited version, X, Y, and why it's edited or whatnot, or like this was modified for historical reasons or whatever. And then you get to make your own decision as a freedom of market to either keep using that service or not.
Right. Well, and the other factor too is, things that we haven't even started talking about yet, but like, we're talking about streaming services as a whole, but you already take their content, you know what I mean? Watching they're taking your personal information on what you're watching and whatnot. But there's certain movies and certain shows. I don't know if you've noticed this, but actually you can see the rotation cycle for the year. Like, it's leaving Netflix, but then it shows up on Prime, or it's leaving Prime and then it shows up on Hulu.
They all have contracts.
You know what I mean? So there's like that. There's like this small pool of media that they constantly just, like bastard media, they just constantly toss from one streaming service to the next. The other factor we haven't talked much about is not distributing the full seasons. Like, you're missing episodes and you're paying for a service. Like
I don't watch that many series, so I have not noticed that. Well,
let me just tell you, I mean, if you're a fan of a series and you haven't seen it anywhere else on DVD or likewise, and they have it on, it's like, say it's exclusive on Hulu, so you go to watch it, but then they don't have every episode. So what if the one episode you wanted to watch, the one you remember as a child that you love, is not there? You know, like, what the hell? You know, you're paying for that service, so don't half-ass it. You know what I mean? And you have a lot of free ones too that are starting to do free content. A lot of shows with free content, you just watch commercials, which is no different than television. But my concern is that places like Netflix, if they don't keep up with the content and they're losing money, I can see ads now starting to pop up. They'll do a couple of ads before the movie or after the movie, and if they really get desperate, there'll be ads in the middle, you know?
Well,
and
right now
they're not
hurting for money. They're making a lot of money, so I don't think that's an issue.
Right now, but I'm just saying it's coming, you know, especially if cable's cut. You know, they're going to have advertisement revenues somewhere. Banners, like we talked about this. I watch Amazon Prime, some digital purchases that we have, but then they do pop-ups on my digital purchases. I'm not talking through Prime. I'm talking about, like, I bought a digital movie and I'm getting ads thrown up during my credits, and like I'm trying to read who's making these films, and I got these fucking stupid Coming Up Next, the Nutty Professor or some shit. It's like, get that off my screen. You know,
right.
Like I paid for this. Get it off my fucking screen. I don't want to see it.
Right.
I shouldn't have to have those things that say skip this or fuck that or whatever. You know, like let it just play the movie, assholes. Because if we have time banners or something, like information banners scrolling at the bottom, oh my god, it's gonna annoy the fuck out of me.
Well,
like, you're gonna lose my business quick.
I'm sure that's not. I hope that's not on the plan, but who knows?
I'll go back to. I'll be the only fucking ass. I'll go find some entrepreneur and I'll just say, you know what? We're gonna go back to hard copies of stuff. You know, that's the end of it.
Yeah, man.
I'm gonna start selling that shit. Be done with this. And I know there's gonna always be pirated stuff, but if everything's digital, the FBI's gonna be bored. They'll start locking that down even more now. Especially if all of the studios are going strictly to streaming, especially if instead of going to the theater opening weekend, it's going to streaming. They're gonna have to crack down on that stuff.
That's true. It is. Yeah. Well,
so
the future's looking. The future.
Very annoying.
Well, we'll see. I feel like we're going to have some chat after this video.
Well, if anybody listens and makes comments on our stuff, list some other things you guys have noticed. Either name the streaming service, name the show, name the movie, and so we can keep tabs on this stuff. And maybe every once in a while we'll go back to it and say, hey, Hulu's really good at keeping it real. Or, Netflix is
let us know.
Fucking up. Let us know
on that, text us, like a million times in the morning before we wake up. We love that. And
yeah. It's like reading the newspaper.
It's like real time commenting. It's great.
Yes. So, any final thoughts?
No, I mean, I feel like we should actually seriously look into getting like petition and see if we can actually get something going like that. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people would be behind to know what version of the show they're watching. That way they know like if they're paying, you're paying subscription fees for this more expensive or whatever, and then people can make their own educated decisions. We're not stopping Netflix or Hulu or Disney Plus or
Right.
HBO to play these movies, but we're just making them be honest and being upfront of what you're actually watching and then
What you're getting for your money.
And then you can see like, oh, Amazon Prime plays the official movie, but Netflix plays the edited version with the walkie-talkies and ET. But Amazon Prime, I can watch the original with the guns, so I'm gonna watch that one.
Yep.
So
Yep, exactly.
you can start seeing a switch in what's going on, and it'll make people. Maybe some people just don't care. Like a lot of people don't, but I know hardcore movie people do
Or
care.
knows. Yeah.
So
Right.
I think it'd be something to look into. To be honest.
Yeah. So on that note, thank you for listening to Entertainment Banter. My name is Matt.
And my name is the Joel, and I'm done.